Today we're talking about more Hot Wheels in the form of multi-packs. It's my understanding that because this is an Italian word, it's actually pronounced Forza and not Forza, which is what I did for many, many years. I might get that wrong. But this is the 5-car premium set Forza Motorsport Hot Wheels. It has 5 cars in it. They're really cool. I don't remember exactly when I got this. I don't know if this was another exclusive that a coworker ordered online and I paid him back for and I got, or if I actually found this in the store. It seems that some of the Forza ones were only available at Walmart, which is one of the places I would go looking for Hot Wheels, so maybe I got it there. I don't really know, unfortunately. I don't have any record of it. I don't think this was exclusive either, which is why I'm not 100% sure. Because looking up and trying to research these online, now that I haven't looked at them at 6 years, this came out in 2017, by the way, probably cost $25 because these more premium cars were $5 each. I don't exactly know, because again, I don't have any records for that. But it is really cool and I'm glad I have it. I definitely do have some of the 2016 ones that we may look at in another video of the Forza lineup because when I was researching for this, I specifically saw the cars that they had there and I immediately recognized some of them I have still in the packaging, some of them I was just buying so I could get the real rider tires off of them and then use them for custom Hot Wheels that I did at one point. But this was the 2017. I bought this set somewhere, somehow, and they're pretty cool. Let's see, the number 1, the Porsche 365 Speedster. Look at that. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Move you over here so we can put you down. I like that color, that blue. That just looks really nice. Now, I did play a Forza game at the very least, typically whatever went to Xbox Game Pass, because I was not buying them. I don't play a whole lot of racing games, but I do like cars. As we've talked about, I have a lot of Hot Wheels. I like cars. Number 2, 1973 BMW 3.0 CSL race car. That's also really cool. I've always been a fan of the BMW, just the look of it and things like that. I might not know all that much about it, but I can still appreciate what it is here. And man. For number 3, the Porsche 911 GTR 3 RS. Yeah, look at that. It's really interesting the way they did this. I can tell that they did just their basic metal here instead of actually adding paint to chrome it up, because I've got those, I believe they're called Zamak. I don't remember how it's pronounced, but I do remember collecting ones especially that would not have any paint, or they were just kind of the bare metal, and that's what they've done here, which is interesting comparing it to the very shininess there. But either way, cool car. I like Porsches. Now, I'm not 100% here. I think, I could be wrong, I could be misremembering. I did not research this specific information I'm about to talk about. I should have, but I didn't think about it until right now looking at this, recording this. I think the 16 Ford GT was something that they used in an episode of The Grand Tour, which is a TV show that I very much enjoy. I didn't really watch a lot of Top Gear, but then it came over and I have Amazon Prime, so I watched a lot of Grand Tour. And I think there was an episode where they were trying to see if you could get through traffic in a Ford GT faster than you could walk to Niagara Falls, maybe? It was many years ago. But I have always remembered that episode because it was quite funny. And also, man, they do a fantastic job with showing off the cars. And this was a beautiful car, assuming I'm remembering that correctly. And then finally, the number 5 that we have here, I had to look up how you pronounce this, because although I have seen it before, and I've heard of it, I didn't remember how to pronounce it at all. Pagani Huayra. Not how I would think to pronounce it, just based on what I'm reading there, but that is how it's pronounced apparently. Really cool. Supercar, insanely fast. I definitely learned that pronunciation from an episode of Top Gear that I looked up when I was researching this to make sure I said it correctly. So, I enjoy Top Gear. That's kind of a reason why I buy a lot of Hot Wheels cars as well, because they show off a lot of cars and they do it in funny ways. Anyway, this is one of the sets that I own, but the other one that I have, we can talk a little bit more about. Hot Wheels car culture. Now, this is really neat. Obviously 2017, same metal on metal, real riders, no plastic, anything like that on the body or the frame underneath, anything like that. These are the similar kind of premium 5-car set. However, if you'll notice, they're special edition cars, and they're all different, like the cards on them are different from different series. Why is that? Well, I learned that during the research of this, because I'd forgotten since I purchased this. This was definitely an exclusive from the HotWheelsCollectors.com that we had to order, and I would have given my coworker money, and they ordered it, and then I got it. Each one of these that you see, Redliners, Air-Cooled, Race Day, Modern Classics, Cars and Donuts, each one of these was a series that they put out throughout 2017. This actually came out, I found information on it, March the 6th, 2018, $26.95 for this 5-car set. And each one of these series, they put out 5 cars for each one. I don't actually remember if I have any of the other ones from the sets, but technically each one of these are what are inside here, are the 6th car to each one of these. And it's a limited edition special set that you could only get from Redline Club from the Hot Wheels collectors. So we could take a look at these right here. We've got a 65 Mercury Comet Cyclone. I know nothing about this. Far before my time, never even seen any of them. And you'll actually notice on all of these, they're numbered 0 out of 5. Again, because they are the 6th car in a 5-car set, they made them 0. I think so that collectors wouldn't have to, well, so they didn't have to reprint anything. They just added a 0 out of 5 and to appease the collectors for not having to collect yet another one. If they missed it, it was a 0, something like that, possibly. I can't exactly speak to why Mattel did what they did, but I can show you what they did. The next one we have here is the air-cooled 65 Volkswagen Fastback. Kinda neat. Again, I know of Volkswagen, of course. A lot of these cars, 60s, I don't remember a lot of them, but I still can look and appreciate. This is pretty neat. I don't know why it says the word moon on it and has a pair of eyes. Couldn't tell you that, unfortunately, but it is pretty cool. The third one we have here from Race Day is a, I'm guessing you pronounce that BRE, Datsun Bluebird 510. Now, I know about Datsun. I know about Datsun because my grandparent owned a Datsun, and so my parents were constantly talking about the Datsun. So I remember that more so than I remember anything else about it. It's still pretty cool. I've never really been into racing as far as that, so the extra stuff that they add onto it, it's a neat thing for me, but I do kind of prefer when they're just a nice color, a nice design. Cars and Donuts. Now again, this is clearly racing. It's got the design on it and things like that, but I do know a 2013 Copo Camaro. I have wanted a Camaro for a very long time, just like I've wanted a Mustang for a very long time. I've wanted a lot of cars for a very long time that I will never realistically be able to afford. Hence, getting a little mini version of it is cool. And again, collecting. That's kind of a whole point of it. This is really neat. With that being said, the final one from Modern Classics is an 84 Mustang SVO. And like, it's not the Mustang that I know, but man, I can see where it came from, and it's really cool, right? I like this style of car more, just in general. Not the ones that have a lot of numbers and all the logos all over. That seems, it's not my favorite. But a nice, clean, white with red trim. Oh, this thing is beautiful. Yeah. And it's a Mustang. I almost bought a Mustang one time. And by almost, I mean, have I told the story before? I went to a dealership and they had an older Mustang at that point that was manual, and I don't know how to drive manual transmission. And my car at the time, I was driving a 97 Ford Taurus, which was on its last leg. The mechanic had already gone through and been like, yeah, your suspension is shot. You need new this and that, and it's this many thousands of dollars. And I went, oh, that's far more than the car is worth. So I went to look at, I don't know, a mid-2000s red Mustang. And I looked at the dealership, and we went in and we sat down, and they ran my credit and came back and were like, yeah, dude, there is no way. They don't want to lease that little of money anyway, because it was only, I want to say it was like $4,000, and they wanted me to get like a $14,000 car. Certainly couldn't afford anything like that. But that's the closest I've ever come to a Mustang. I didn't even get to sit in it. No, I sat in it to make sure it would fit, because I'm very tall. I did not get to drive it because, again, I don't know how to drive manual at this point in time. I would like to learn, but I don't really have a way to do that. But my dad knew how to drive manual, and he went with us, and he took it and did the test drive while I stayed there at the dealership. And yeah, no, wait, I was in the car. Why am I misremembering that? I was in the car. I was in the passenger seat. We took it around, and I asked him, I was like, well, is it good? And he went, well, it's a car. It runs. It drives. It's going to need work, but it's fine for right now. But again, they didn't approve it. Didn't happen. I wound up moving out of state and getting a better job and then buying a Hyundai Sonata because I knew that car would fit me as well. But anyway, the last really interesting thing I found while researching all of this that I was not aware of, I knew that this was exclusive once I had discovered that in the research. I did not know the price, and it's not something I typically look at. It's not something that I put that much time or care or thought into, because to me, this is my collection. I don't want to sell my collection. It's not really worth it, because then my collection no longer has a thing in it. It's kind of one of the reasons why I'm making this entire video series about things that I own, is because if or when I have to sell something, I no longer have it, but I have a video record of it at the very least. I can look at that instead of being able to look at this on a shelf. But when I researched this, the first thing that came up, rather than Wikipedia pages, rather than any research that I could use, was eBay listings for this set of cars for $200. I paid $26.95 6 years ago. 5 years ago. I know that appreciated far more in value than I expected. And of course, I know that, like, I remember telling my brother about other things, and he does that kind of buying, selling, collecting thing a lot more. And I remember going, oh, this magic card's worth like, $200 or something like that. And he goes, sell it immediately. If it's worth that much now, you'll just regret it later down the road. I've never wanted to sell anything. I've come close a few times, but I don't think I've actually had to sell very much out of any of my various collections for things. I have no intentions of selling this. It's really cool to see that. It's not actually, I should mention, it's not actually going for $200. Sold listings are closer to like $150, $175, but still, that's a considerable amount more than $26.95 that I paid for it, plus shipping and handling. So these are really cool. I like the designs. I like this. My hopes, of course, I hope to have the space to be able to display something like this. I'd like to have the box displayed and then put the cards along with it, maybe hang the cards on pegs and have the boxes displayed for these things. For now, they just live in storage, but, one day. So, pretty cool stuff. Really cool cars, some that I remember, some that I have no idea about, some that I could still learn, but I like Hot Wheels, I like collecting. These box sets were just a nice way of getting not just the already premium card, or premium car, I should say, with the real riders, with the metal. They are more premium, they put more effort into this stuff, they look better, but the fact that they had all of that, and it comes with a box, well worth the little bit extra that I paid for, rather than just buying these $5 cars separately. For those reasons, this is something that I like.